Oh, I think I'm gonna just do this on the floor, y'all. I think I need a pillow. I usually have my little stand. I did not bring my stand. Like, why? Why did I not do that? It's just bad. Yo, it's just bad. I got a message. Hey y'all, it's your girl Kiwi Love Your Kinks, and I'm back with a new video. Oh, y'all, I'm in a good mood. It's Juneteenth weekend. I'm in H-Town, Houston, Texas, and y'all, like, this trip was like well overdue. But every time I go somewhere, like, I try to bring my camera with me, and like this whole trip, y'all, it's been really good. Like, I've been enjoying myself. You know, the heat. I'm starting to like the heat. You feel me? Like, when the demons out. At least that's what somebody told me on my way here. Like, they said that. But yeah, you know what? It's crazy that I'm here in H-Town. Let me stop saying H-Town. Crazy that I'm here in Houston during Juneteenth weekend. So on my way here, I was enlightened by a person who is from here. The history of Juneteenth. She informed me that Juneteenth in Houston was actually a Texas holiday. It just so happens that recently they decided that they wanted to make it a national holiday. So it really started where certain parts of the city, they didn't really allow Black people to celebrate huge events. They gave them a hard time to do stuff like that. And I just really thought that was just crazy because, like, it's not unbelievable, but it makes sense. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, being Black, trying to like do something with yourself, trying to grow, trying to expand. I've been thinking about moving here mostly because I wanted to go to dental school here, but that would be something that I'll put on hold. Like, I gotta be ready to make a major move like that. But a part of me kind of feel like that's something I should consider because I know that it's in me to move. I like to move around. I don't like to stay in one place. I just don't like to feel like I'm stuck. Doing that, it seems like it causes a lot of people to go through depression. And that's really what this message is about. This message is about depression, y'all. The fight of depression. It's so much bigger than what people think. Like, some of your happiest people that you know in your life are probably struggling through depression. And it makes sense because there's so many things that are hanging over people's heads like mistletoe. And, you know, depression is just, it's not a part of life. I don't feel like it's a part of life. I think it's a state of mind. And I think that it's easier to say that if you feel like you're depressed, that's on you and all of that. Like, it's so much deeper than you feeling a certain type of way. And that's the reason why I'm saying it. Like, your life could be going a whole way that you don't like. And depression can like kill everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, if you feeling deep about something, it's hard to take yourself out of it when your reality is reflecting that. But if you practice it and you kind of like pay attention and catch yourself when you find yourself slipping into those negative thoughts, that's where that fight comes in. And so the real question is, like, where does depression come from? Who knows? I'm not a doctor, I'm not a life coach or anything like that, so I can't really give you the full spiel on where depression comes from. But I know that it starts here, and well, actually, no, I feel like it starts in your reality, and then it just dwindles up in here. Before I go any further with this, I just want to say that any person that is fighting depression, this is what I want you to understand, because I fought depression before too, so I know what that's like. I just want to say that your grain of salt existence in this universe produces balance. And if what I just said don't make sense to you, I'm gonna break it down. So think of the entire earth. Matter of fact, let's start small. Think about your neighborhood. Doesn't seem so big, does it? Real small, right? Think about the city. You're from Chicago. Think of Chicago. Chicago is like, you know, a lot of people live there. Millions of people live in Chicago. Stand a little bit bigger, but it's still small when you compare it to like other places, like the place where I am right now. So when you think of it from that standpoint, and then you just like kind of like use like the magnifying glass a little bit, and you look at it like, okay, you got Chicago, then you got the state of Illinois, then you got this country, then you got this continent, then you got this world. You get where I'm going with this? Then you got this solar system, then you got this galaxy, then you got this whole cosmic universe. You like a grain of salt when you look at it that way. And it's not to say that you're small, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is your existence creates balance. Because without you, there's some type of imbalance. Eventually, things come back to balance, but like on a smaller scale, you not existing to the people around you, that is gonna cause the imbalance. You know what I'm trying to say, y'all? I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So your existence creates balance. And when you understand that, you gotta like your life like that touches other people, and it affects them in so many ways that you probably you probably won't even know. You know what I'm saying? But just knowing that you are that grain of salt and you create that balance in this life, in this universe, that is the reason why the fight is so much bigger than what you might think. So what I will say is that when a person is dealing with depression or just anything that's weighing them down, it affects your thoughts for sure. Like you get to a point where you just like, I'm not happy. I don't want to be here anymore. That like all of these things, you know what I'm saying? Like it happens. And the way that you fight is by changing those thoughts with positive affirmation. And I know y'all probably looking at me like, what the fuck? Like, how's that gonna help me? But it's something that you gotta practice. And I'm only speaking as a person who like have these battles with depression during like different points in my life. I really had to like realize that it is like in my mind, like, yeah, my reality, it might be some BS, you know what I'm saying? But like, I had to understand, like, okay, is this gonna be the rest of my life or is this just right now? And that's where like those affirmations make me understand like a lot of this stuff might feel like it's long term, but it's not. I really had to work on freeing my mind. Like being in Chicago, it's so hard to free your mind being there. It's a way of thinking, it's a way of living, it's a way of being around certain people that are like, who are taught to think and be in a certain type of way. And when you come in like with a creative type of standpoint or just a free standpoint, it's very hard for people to understand where you're coming from, because they gonna look at it like you trying to be a deadbeat. Like you don't really believe in doing your life. And it's like, it's not that. It's just you have a way of being free. And like when you free of so many things, the stress, the fear, the depression, the anxiety, the manipulations, like the list goes on. When you free of all of that and you got peace, you gonna move with that peace. And a lot of people not gonna understand that because they not in that space where they in peace. They trying to function through chaos. So your freedom and your lack of stress and your peace, it might bother some because they don't know what that is. They don't understand what peace is. And they trying to find it, but it's like the way that they might be going about it just might not be working. And you figured it out for yourself. And because you figured it out for yourself, they might not necessarily accept that. Like they might find honor in you doing that and understanding that it's a real sacrifice to find peace in yourself. So many people do not know how hard it is to find peace. It's so easy to function through chaos. The reason why is because it distracts your mind and it makes you feel like what you're doing right now, functioning through this chaos, is enough and is going to allow you to continue to like level through different cycles. But in reality, it's keeping you from being able to be free and think in a peaceful manner and be able to see things through without all of these things clouding your sight. You know what I'm saying? So all of these things are connected to what I'm saying. So like with this whole thing, the fight that I'm talking about, right? So there's thoughts that you have, good or bad, and then you have these affirmations, right? These things that you kind of conjure up unknowingly. Let me use the example. Look, on my way here, right? When I was packing, I put some shea butter in my suitcase. I did not put it in this little thing that I got to kind of like put all of my toiletries and deodorant, stuff like that. So like I just had it under my clothes because I was rushing. I was trying to rush to the airport, even though I really didn't have to rush. But someone was telling me like, Q, put it in the thing. Like, why are you, man, need to listen to that inner self. But when I got here to Houston, right, I'm like unpacking, putting out clothes, getting ready to like start my week, my break. And the first thing I look for is my shea butter, because I love this shea butter, y'all. Like, it smells good. I want to say shout out to 360 Connection, because y'all got the best shea butter ever. Like, this scent that I had is always sold out when I go there. And I really was hoping to bring those scents to Houston because I just wanted to walk around with my shea butter. I'm a shea butter wearing woman. You know what I'm saying? So I always wear shea butter, okay? My friends, they know. They're like, this girl always got a big ass piece of shea butter. But that's just something I like to wear. Like, no, that lotion don't be doing it all the time. So yeah, sometimes I mix it with the, look, we ain't gonna talk about that. But anyways, this example, right? So I thought about not having my shea butter exposed. When I got here, I saw my shea butter was missing. So I'm like, they tossed my shea butter. Either they tossed it or it's still at home. One or two things, I don't know. So that's the affirmation, right? So the solution to this issue is very simple, because this could have blew my whole trip. Like, I'm down here in the heat, in desert heat, and I ain't got no lotion. I'm walking around around here ashy. You know what I'm saying? You could play tic-tac-toe, draw that on my legs. Like, I'm out here like ashy like that. But nah, I'm not going to be that person. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to find a solution. Okay? This is the solution. Me going and getting me some lotion from Bath and Body Works, wherever I got to go, even though I do not like really wearing lotion in places like this. I like shea butter. Anyway, yeah. So that was my solution. Now, me having to go out of my way and get lotion, that could be a horrible thing to deal with, right? It's like, damn, I just went out with, like, it's the negativity that can kind of like determine how the outcome of that solution can be. You know what I'm saying? So instead, I come with it with acceptance. Because I knew that I wasn't supposed to bring a full tub of freaking shea butter through the airport. Even if I was gonna hide it. Like, accept the fact that they threw it away because that's their job and it's cool, right? So this is like the example I'm using for depression. So when you have these thoughts and you have these affirmations, right, if they're positive or negative, based off of the positive or negative thoughts that you got, you might have to come up with a solution to it, especially if it's negative. And when you have a solution, rather if it inconveniences you, or if it makes you do a little bit more, if it makes you have to like go out of your way a little bit more, that solution has to be accepted, okay? You have to accept it, rather if it's a setback or whatever, you have to accept that. And I think the reason why a lot of people that look like me, black people that got this problem with doing this, and it's not just with depression, it's with a lot of things going on in life. I feel like a lot of this is rooted to our history, and it's also rooted to our DNA. Being realistic about that. Like, you know, we always talk about the whole idea with like slavery and shit. Like, we talk about that, how that really affected our community. And it's true. I'm not going to say it didn't affect us. I'm not going to say that because it has. It's tremendously affected us. But we have not come to terms with accepting that is a part of the past and letting it be. You get what I'm saying? Like, we are here. This is the past. You know what I'm saying? We just keep bunny hopping back to the past. And it's like, how can we ever get ahead if we can't do that? We have to accept that is what happened to us, but that is not what we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things that has happened to a lot of people that look like me, and it's been rooted into our DNA. It has caused these fears. It has caused these different cycles to keep conjuring up in our lives. I feel like a lot of this stuff is connected to our history. You know, if y'all understand what DNA is, like, I'm just telling y'all what it is. DNA is like the powerhouse of information. You know what I'm saying? It goes back generations and generations and generations to my knowledge. It goes back. And a lot of these things that might be rooted in the DNA might be the fears and just things that were meant to destroy us and hold us back. If you constantly reproduce that through each generation, you're never going to be able to stop that from that part of the DNA, that trait in the DNA, to keep reproducing itself. You're not going to be able to stop that. And the way that you do that is by freeing your mind, y'all. I was about to cuss. You do that by freeing your mind. And, you know, I know that we have this anger and, you know, just all of these things rooted in us, but there is a difference between reality and perception. Reality is what's actually happening. Perception is the way that you receive what is happening. So it might be somebody saying, like, I gotta use a good example with this. It might be, I'm gonna use the shea butter again. My perception could have been, damn, they just threw away my shea butter. Like, why would they throw away my shea butter? Why are they going through my stuff? But the reality of that situation is that's their job. It was well over the size of travel size item. And 3, they had to throw it away. Like, that's the reality. The perception and reality, like, it teeter-tots on the damn scale, because it's like everybody has their own way of like receiving things. And, you know, it makes it very hard to like move forward with those things. And so what I'm really trying to say is to be intuitive with your thoughts. Be intuitive with the way that things can play out, and not necessarily feed on what can actually play out, but accept what will play out. And when it actually plays out, just leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? And just move forward. We so busy bunny hopping back in the past. We gotta stop doing that. We give the past power by leaning on it and using it as a crutch or a reason for us to not be in a certain way or be in a certain place. And I'm very disappointed in a lot of people, including myself, because I wish somebody had told me this sooner. Like I said, like, I'm really just trying to like speak out for the people who like might be fighting some demons. You know what I'm saying? it's hard to do this without seeing things in a ballpark standpoint, because we always see stuff from where we stand currently. Those things are just not as powerful as we might think they are. At this point, I'm gonna speak for myself with this. I had to understand that my past helped me be where I am right now, but my past cannot help me move forward. My past is not gonna help me in my future. That's realistically speaking. I could talk about it, but I can't live in it, and I can't give it power. I can't let it lock me in a damn cage and just constantly use that as a reason for where I am or where I'm not. I can't do that. Once we come to terms with that, understanding that, it makes it easier for us to enjoy our life and to reap all the blessings that our life has to offer us. I had to learn all of these things I'm talking about, y'all, on my own. Look, y'all, this time I wrote it down. Look at that. I wrote it down this time. Look, I had to learn all these things on my own, and I'm really starting to believe that everybody was here before, and I really believe that there are different things that we have to fulfill before we leave this place. And if we do not fulfill those things, then we kind of have to start over again. And many times I felt like I have a past life, just like you might have a past life. You know, at some point I could have been a man, woman, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I chose to come back to this place because I know that I have something that I have to do. And each time I come back, I feel like you get a little bit better at it. You know, sometimes it get worse for some people because the human experience is not as we think it is. I'm not gonna stop saying that, but it is. It's like here and here. Like it can be good, it can be bad. But I think throughout it all, like I think we have to learn how to enjoy it, no matter where we are. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta find something to smile at every time you step foot out of your place, or when you step out of a place of rest. You know, a place you lay your head. Understanding that there's so much more out here, and really enjoying that, and really finding the abundance in it, man. I really be feeling like what I'm saying is very hard for some people, and it is, because this was hard for me. If somebody would have told me this a few years ago, I probably would have been looking at them like they're crazy. Like, what are you talking about? I got this. That I got to do. I'm responsible for. You not trying to change my situation. You are not helping. You feel me? Like I had that going on with me, and I had to step back and really look at it. Like all of these things I'm doing is a choice. If I really didn't find joy in what it is that I'm doing, why would I continue to do it? Why is it even valuable? Why is it even okay for me to do it? And do I really find the lack of happiness associated with it? Because there probably isn't a lack of happiness associated with it. It's probably just what's going on up in here that's making me feel that way. Or maybe it might have just been something that I ignored that was actually like bothering me. I'll leave you guys with this. When you find yourself fighting things that are not initially harming you, fight. The way that you're going to fight this is through your mind. Everything lives here. It lives here before it becomes your reality. So these intrusive thoughts have to be replaced with affirmation and positive things, because we free falling in a place where we don't even understand it. We don't know where all of these things come from. We don't know where these things are rooted, and we can't keep giving it power, man. Like there's so many people that couldn't fight anymore because they felt like they had to lose their life and do it. It's not worth it. You being here, being that grain of salt, creates balance in this universe. I'm not gonna stop saying it. You being a grain of salt existing creates balance in this universe. We don't understand it all of the time because, you know, we're us 100% of the time. Breathing and like walking this planet is a blessing. The gift of life is a blessing. You gotta choose how you want your life to be. Because we always like allow certain things to come up when we don't know. And that's okay when you're trying to figure it out. But at some point you gotta have an idea like what you want. And like use your mind and your imagination to be your compass and directing you where it is that you're supposed to be. Eventually you're gonna get there. That's all I got. I don't know why I felt like I needed to say that, but like being here really made me think about that. Just like really understanding like my people's history. Like we come from a dark place of like so many things that were meant to destroy us. I'm here to tell y'all, you gotta get away from things that were set out to destroy you. And we all might not know what those things are, but things that are meant to destroy you and kill your calling. You gotta get the hell away from those things, because it's so much more for you. I feel like I'm a parent right now, just lecturing people with shit. Let me stop doing that. But I'm being so straight up with y'all. Like, I really believe that. I'm not gonna stop saying that. I really believe it. It's crazy. It's so crazy. I hope that what I'm saying, I hope that it sits well with some, and that my words, please don't live by them. I'm always gonna remind myself to say that. Do not live by them. But just think about it, and I'm pretty sure what I'm saying is true to some extent. Y'all stay blessed. Happy Juneteenth, y'all. Peace and love and blessings and everything. That's really all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. All right.